Hello. Hey Peace Nation, it's Karen Denise. Welcome you to another video. Today we're going to do something a little different. A young lady, remember I had on the video that I was giving out jewelry to some of the young ladies at where I work? Well, one of the young ladies decided she was going to buy me this. This is a tall coffee tea mug. I love it. You slide the top back and forth to use it. It is stainless steel, which is nice. And so she gave this to me. But I wanted to do something a little different with it because sometimes we want to do our own cups and stuff, but we don't have those turntables that you put it on. And since I'm not doing the whole cup, I'm going to show you how you can do this without a turntable. One, this backing is already black, so I don't have to spray paint it, change the color so that what I'm going to use can show up better because black behind these things will actually make those colors pop. What I am going to do is a couple steps to show you how you could do this. I have some blue tape. Everybody who does artwork knows what blue tape is. I'm going to tape a couple areas off only because I do not want to mess this cup up. I only want to stay within a certain range. This tile signature, the name of the cup, I'm going to put a piece of tape there. I don't want my UV resin coming over that because that is what we're using. We're using UV resin today, the hard type, so that I can be able to put it on, go as much as I want without messing it up. I'm also going to put a piece at the top. Well, I'm going to tear this in half because I don't want to waste tape. I'm going to put a piece here first. This is how far down I want it to come. I really want to center it as much as possible on this cup, my design, and I'm going to put a piece here. What this will do is stop me from putting UV resin where I don't want it. And of course, I'm going to put a piece at the top, and the whole purpose of the piece at the top is so that where my mouth will go if I'm ever using this cup without the lid, I don't have to worry about my mouth touching the project because UV resin, any chemical, is toxic and you have to be very careful with it. Some are made to be able to use with food safe, but UV resin is not food safe. So there we go. Now, I have a general idea of where I want to put my design. Here's the easy part. Now, I'm not going to use what we should use, which is gloves, but you really should use gloves. Key things, UV resin must have a light to cure. This is my little curing lamp here. I broke my big one, so I don't have it right now, so I won't be able to use it. I'm going to show you a technique called dragon scales. This technique is very nice. You need a couple of things. You need a bowl of soapy water, which I have here. This is just warm water with some dish soap in it and a straw. Now, I'm going to put my UV resin on here. I like the fact that this is the hard type because high viscosity because it won't just go anywhere I don't want it to go. See what I'm doing? This is how you can create your design. Remember, UV resin will not cure without the light. So I don't want to oversaturate it. I want it just enough where it's covering the area. I want it to get it to look the way I want it to look. Trying not to go straight to the tape because I don't want a UV resin to tape on here. So put that down, get it where I want it. There we go. That's pretty good. Because of the technique I'm creating, which is actually a kind of a bubble technique, I'm not really worried about if there's bubbles in this, but I am worried about coverage because UV resin will pull inward. So you have to make sure you have it where you want it, have enough without having too much so it does not overflow everywhere. Okay, there we go. Now, I'm going to take a long neck lighter just to bust a couple of the little bubbles I see. This is not curing the resin, but this helps pop bubbles. What this also does is it allows me to see if I have enough resin on here. So now I see that there's some spots that are trying to go void. So I just put another little drop and I pat those spots with the resin. And that's pretty good coverage right there. So now, this part is simple. Don't make it hard. You blow the bubbles, blow as much as you want, because here's the trick. You don't want water. You literally just want the bubbles. Now, these bubbles are extremely big, so look at what I'm doing. I'm breaking them down some. I'm going to put the bubbles on the cup. This is the hard part, getting them off the spoon onto the cup. I'm going to place them on the cup without popping them. Put them all over my area. You can even take your hand and do this. Don't bubbles start popping, just pop some more. This is why you don't want the water. You only want the bubbles. So you don't scrape down to the bottom. You're literally just scraping the top of the bubbles. You're putting it on wherever you have UV resin. Remember, no water. I'm never going to the bottom of this pot. See? Need more bubbles? Just make more bubbles. Just taking the bubbles up off. When I first saw this, I thought that this was crazy when I first saw the dragon scale method. Then I ended up loving it. I made actually a pair of earrings like this one time for someone, and they loved them. I loved the way it came out. Thought it was so beautiful. See, no scraping the bottom. Remember that. You don't want the excess water on here. That's why you're just taking the bubbles off the very top. Get them on there. See if you got them everywhere. Some of the bubbles will be smaller, some will be bigger, but that is the dragon scale method. Put them on there. Get the bubbles on everywhere you want there to be bubbles. Generally, you would put it anywhere where you have the UV resin so that the UV resin is actually looking good everywhere. Take your lamp, turn it on, put it over your design. You're going to do this for about a minute. Because I have mine going in a circular motion, I want to do it all at once. I'm moving my lamp so that the resin can actually cure through the bubbles. Like I said, you're only doing this for about a minute. So see how I'm just going over it? Curing. I'm curing the UV resin. Of course, yes, you still see the bubbles on the top because the soap is just sitting there. But what this is doing is this is actually forming my design. Oh, I didn't realize I could lay that on there like that. There we go. And I can just keep rotating it during my minute. I have this on 90 seconds. And I have it on 90 seconds because even though I only want to cure it for a minute, I am literally just going back and forth during this time frame. Let it sit there, maybe count to 10, move it a little, count to 10, move it a little, so forth like that. This technique is very good for anyone who is new to UV resin and want to be able to do their own cups for their family members because you could do this so many ways. Okay, now it's important you get the excess water off because you can't go further without the excess water. Take a paper towel and you just go over it. Can you see that? I'm going to lift this up because I want to show you what I see before we even go any further. I want to touch it, okay? You try not to over-cure it because of the next step. Look at those dragon scales. Aren't they gorgeous? That is so pretty. Now, what I'm going to do is See what I did? See that mistake? I pulled it up and it's not stuck. There we go. I don't want straight lines anyway, so that's fine. But if I would have wanted straight lines, this wouldn't have worked. So I'm going to pull that up, get the tape off of here. Now you see that? That corner didn't want to stick. But look, I'm going to show you what I can do. I can literally take a little bit of UV resin, clean that because I went over that with that. I can do a little bit of UV resin right here. Put it down. Anywhere where I felt like it was coming up, I can do this. Not the whole project because we want our dragon scales. I'm putting the resin there. Didn't want it to be straight lines anyway. I was just trying to protect this little emblem more than anything else. Put that there. Now, I am going to use my light again, but not for very long. I'm not going to use my light as long this time. I wish I still had my big light, but I dropped it and broke it. I mean, literally broke it. So, yeah. Gonna put that there. So you can fix this. UV resin, you can basically fix your mistakes as you go along, which is good. On this side, we're just getting this not cured all the way. Remember, we don't want it cured all the way right now, and I'm going to tell you why in a second. But we do want it to be hard enough where it is stuck to my container. Touch it. It's still tacky. That's good. We do want it to be a little tacky. I'm trying not to keep curing the top. Okay, turn that off. Now, here comes the fun part. These are less resin powders. And what you can do with these is see that, let's move this to the side because we don't need the water anymore. I'm going to build layers of colors on this cup. I love this color. So that's all I did was I went in, I chose some colors I liked. I'm just going to dab into them and I'm going to go over my cup. I'm not going to go over it all in the same spot. See how I'm just going wherever I want to go. You could be more precise if you want to. I'm just adding so many colors to this cup that I just want to just make them all just stand out together. I think I want to put me a little yellow next to that. This little foam I have right here on my table is a piece of styrofoam that came in the order. So I'm just using it to pat it so that I'm not mixing my colors up. And I am literally just painting the resin I just did. Going in different spots, no rhyme, no reason, just to have it looking where I have the color all over the place. Just spots here and there. Tap that one off, close this one up. I'm done with that one. This one is called Pale Gold. Don't want to use that one yet because that's too close to that color. I think, yes, look at this. Look at that beautiful color. So we're going to put that beautiful color next to the yellow because we want each color to stand out on its own. See how that stands out on its own? I can also bring some of that down into this one. I can bring some of it into here. See? You can actually ombre this like this. I love that blue. I don't know if I think I might need a little bit more over on this side. Yes. Just to put some of that blue over there on that end. Cover this back up. I have to keep covering up because I would make a big mess. Now, let's see. Oh, we have look at this. A corn silk white. just to lighten, put some light on here. Do that. Come in here. Put some corn silk white in there too. And now I'm just really just brushing the colors together. This creates an ombre where there's no line definition between the colors. See, I'm not worried about that tape because in the end, this thing will get washed before I use it anyway. This is you doing whatever you feel you want to do for you. That's why I love this technique. You can add color wherever you want it, take color away. Like I really love this burgundy. So I'm gonna come back in with just a little bit more of the burgundy here and there, just to put some in different spots. So it's not in just one space on this cup. Blend them together. And look how beautiful that is. Okay, so now, next step. We have to clean this off. So I have a little trash can beside me. So we have to clean off the extra. Look how pretty that is. Those are dragon scales. I could literally put lettering on this before I go to the next step, but I'm not gonna do any of that. I got a trash can here. I'm just brushing the excess off, the excess powder into the trash can. Now this is one of the parts that you might want to have gloves on because it's hard to get mica powder off your hands. Okay. Look how beautiful that blended together. I love this. Look at that. A dragon scale. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this all around the cup. Matter of fact, I could leave the name here and I could do the same process all in here. I can paint me some UV resin. I can put my bubbles on and this whole front of this cup could be done. I just don't want all that right now. I was thinking I might put my name back here, but I'm not going to do that either. I just wanted to make this as simple as possible for you for the first time you're seeing me do this. Okay, I'm going to clean my hands off with the paper towel. And now we are going to cover this. We're going to cover this to seal it. And what are we going to seal it with? UV resin, of course. So what we do is we take the UV resin, we put it on here. We go to our edges with it, like you pour it in the middle and you just work your way out to the edges just to get the edges where you want them. See, I could have poured more, but I just don't want it dripping over. So I don't mind adding a little at a time to get where I want to be. But you're going to see how UV resin on these colors is going to make this cup really pop, especially with the black background, because if I would have did this in a white background, it wouldn't show up the way I'd want it to show up. So I know I'm being a little messy right now, but that's okay. Going over my edge where I actually want the UV resin, because I can take a wipe before I cure this and wipe that. I just have to be careful that I'm not making this resin go everywhere. And this is why you use this type of resin, because this type of resin tries to stay where this type, like the hardness, the velocity of it, tries to stay where you put it. So as long as you're not moving it around too much and you don't give it too much time to drain, it will basically stay in place. So now I have that where I want it. Basically, I'm going to take a baby wipe. I have some right here. I'm going to take a baby wipe. I'm going to take one of my small brushes because it has a small end. I'm going to put my baby wipe on it, and I am literally going to just go right like this up to where I want this, so that I'm not over my design when it comes to this UV resin. So see, just take it up to where I want it. This is taking off the extra UV resin and keeping my design encased. Pick that up. Oh, this side is good. Didn't even need it there. Take a look at it. I'm looking at it in the light while I'm showing it to you. You can see the difference in the shine. Take my light, put it back on here. And this time we're going to do it for longer, because now we want to seal this. So I'm going to turn my light on, and I'm going to sit this like this. Well, like this, because I don't want to mess up the cord. That's part of what happened to the other one. I'm going to sit it like that. That's going to allow that to sit there and dry. It's going to stop the dripping. It won't be able to drip. I'm going to come to this side, stop the dripping from this end. These come out so beautiful. They are so easy to do, and you don't have to just do them with this. With this UV resin that I just showed you, you could actually buy the stickers that, you can see through the stickers when you put them on, but they have a design. You can place all kinds of things on these cups with UV resin. You don't have to have the turn. I mean, the turn is nice. If I was thinking about selling cups, I probably would buy a turner. But I'm not selling cups. I'm making these for friends and family. This young lady bought me this cup, and I just wanted to show her how much I love this cup. We'll be using this cup by doing this with this cup. Okay, and we are almost done. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to welcome any newcomers to the channel. Peace Nation, thank you for coming back while we're waiting for this to dry. I really do appreciate all of you for being here. Please hit the like, comment, share, and subscribe button. If you choose to subscribe to our family, we are Peaceful Nation. That's why the channel's name is Living Peaceful by Design. You are more than welcome to join our family. We really do appreciate it. Another shout out I want to give is to Glitz and Glitter by Michelle, because it's so funny that I was thinking about doing this process and figuring out if it would work. And lo and behold, I turned on YouTube to to my art section, and she was doing this very same thing. And I was like, oh, look at God. God knew this was what I wanted to do with this cup. And I was wondering, Karen, are you going to mess the cup up? Will this work? And she was doing it. And I was like, thank you, God. Thank you for confirming for me that this was something I could do. I want to show you this now. You keep doing it until it's no longer tacky. Then you know it is done. Isn't that beautiful? I think that is so beautiful. So now that it is done, I could have went so many. Listen, this process is endless. Do it if you feel like it. Like if you have a personalized mug or a Stanley cup or something you want to use and you don't want the whole thing done, you can do it this way and you can really personalize it for yourself. I want to thank you once again for being here. My name is Karen Denise. Thank you for being a part of the Peaceful Nation clan. And all of you have a blessed and great day.